Welcome to Project U 2.2, where my goal is to help you break barriers and step confidently into an elevated version of yourself. This podcast dives into mindset, growth, and creating the life you were meant to live. I'm Carrie, a former teacher turned leadership and growth mentor, helping people overcome self-doubt and embrace their next chapter. I believe you are your greatest project. Each week, we'll explore the habits, stories, and strategies that help you break barriers, step into your potential, and level up your life. Let's get started. Hi friends, it's Carrie. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful life lessons that I have ever learned. It's the value of work ethic, persistence, and figuring things out. I want you to picture this. As a child, your parents didn't have money to hire someone to fix things, or to build things, or to figure things out for them. So every problem, every challenge, every task, they handled themselves. From fixing a television, to tearing apart a computer, to climbing on top of the roof to repair it, to building a whole living room addition, to recovering a sofa, to fixing the body of a car, to fixing the mechanical parts of a car, to raising your own chickens for food, from growing your own vegetables in a garden, to sewing your own clothes. My parents taught me and my sister how to do the same. Today, I want to take you on a journey through those lessons, through the ways that I've applied them in my own life, and how you can start doing the same. Whether it's building confidence, creating your career, or tackling projects that you've been avoiding. This episode isn't about teaching you how to do all of those skills, because frankly, I don't know how to do all of those. But it's about showing up, working hard, and figuring things out. Let's go back to the 1950s. My dad grew up in a family of 11 kids. My mom grew up with 7. Neither of them had financial stability, and they were married young. So even as a married couple, if something needed to get done, they did it themselves, or it simply didn't get done. Growing up, if someone needed a haircut, I remember my mom grabbing her scissors. And it was a very normal scene to walk into our kitchen to see some aunts, uncles, small cousins sitting on a rocking horse, or even our family dog sitting while mom worked her magic as our very own hairstylist. And just like most things in life, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My mom taught me to cut hair when I was a kid. She even gave me guidance when I cut our oldest son's hair the first few times. And I took over after that. I've been cutting all 3 of our boys' hair, my husband's, and our family dog's, even our neighbors. During COVID, I cut my own hair for a few years. My mom likes to laugh at a story from my teenage years when a friend asked me to cut her hair. I asked her how many layers she wanted, thinking that you just cut layers straight across. That's not how it works. I know now that you have to angle the hair so the layers fall naturally, but before I made that mistake, my mom came running into the room laughing, stopped me, guided me through it. That's classic. Learn by doing, but with support when you need it. My mom is one of the most resourceful women I know. If a sock had a hole in it, she would grab a light bulb, shove it in the sock, sew the hole closed. She calls it darning it. While I would probably throw that, not probably, who am I kidding? I do not sew. I would throw that sock away. So I can't say that I've learned every lesson from my mom. I think the sewing one skipped my generation, and I just usually still pass things on to my mom. But they didn't even have money for groceries some weeks. My mom would always declare those as pancake weeks. She tried to make it fun. We would eat pancakes for dinner every night for a week. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think this happened about once a month. And maybe that's why I hate pancakes today. I remember another morning I was rushing off to college. I backed out of the driveway and crash. I hit my mom's car that was parked right behind me. I had literally just walked right by it to get to my car, but it wasn't normally parked there, and we didn't have fancy cameras back then, and out of habit, I just backed up and I hit it. I ran in the house crying. My mom was still in bed, and she said, "Don't worry about it. I shouldn't have parked it there. Go to school." I'm sure inside she was just wanting to scream. I'm sure she was angry. I'm sure she was frustrated. And I'm sure my dad was too, because he was the one stuck repairing it. But with some Bondo, some sanding, a lot of time, patience, and some paint, I learned another lesson. My parents taught me to just figure things out calmly. There's a way to fix everything. Take a second and just reflect. How do you usually respond when something goes wrong? Do you get angry? Do you lose your temper? Do you panic? Or do you give up? Or do you roll up your sleeves and dig in? That moment taught me to stay calm, assess the problem, and keep moving forward. Yeah, we can get mad, and sometimes we do. And work ethic isn't about working 70 hours a week. It's about being productive, calm, and persistent. As a kid, I watched my parents tackle challenges. We didn't have Google or YouTube or artificial intelligence. We had encyclopedias, but they just figured things out. And that's what I want you to understand. Today, we have so many resources at our fingertips. And we all have courage to figure things out, to persist. And all of that comes from within. Let me tell you about some of the Christmases from my childhood. My parents wanted to give us a magical holiday every year, but they didn't have a lot of money. One year I woke up, I came downstairs early on Christmas morning, and I could not believe my eyes when I saw a shiny blue bike parked next to the tree. I was in middle school, and it was the bike that I had been dreaming about. What I didn't know at the time was my parents didn't buy it new. It looked new. They found a rusty bike on the side of the road. They brought it home. They sanded it, painted it, replaced the tires and seat, wrapped the handlebars with some black padding tape. I remember looking down and seeing a little rough spot underneath the handlebars and asking what that was. And my mom explained that my dad had cut off a bar that took it from a boy's bike to a girl's bike. When I saw it Christmas morning, I couldn't believe it. I was thrilled. I had my very own 3-speed bike. Another year, I wanted a Cabbage Patch doll, the ones that parents were fighting over in the stores. They were the hit. My mom couldn't afford the crazy $150 price tag that they were at the time, so she got resourceful. She found a Cabbage Patch doll head at a craft store and sewed the body herself. Another example of her creativity, my mom used to buy the cheapest laundry soap she could find. Not because she loved it, but because she could afford it, and it came with a free glass inside. Just like the little trinkets that we used to get in our cereal boxes. And slowly over time, she built us a full set of drinking glasses that we used every single day. Even today, I look at those little details and I think, Mom was teaching me resourcefulness without saying a word. And it wasn't always just about saving money. My mom has always been the queen of repurposing. I remember several years ago I was getting rid of some faux black leather curtains, and I thought they were trash or Goodwill. But not my mom. Even though she has the finances to purchase things now, she turned those curtains into Halloween costumes. She made doll shoes for my nieces. She stitched a seat cover out of that material. And just last week, she even cut a strip to repair the foot straps on my dad's and son's karate pads. Those curtains and that material have been in her possession for at least 10 years. And I don't know, they're the fabric that just keeps on giving. She just comes up with more and more uses for that faux black leather material. She has a use for everything. I remember in elementary school, I was invited to a popular girl's birthday party. Her name was Stacy. I was embarrassed because we found a nice gift at a good price, but we didn't have wrapping paper to wrap it. I remember going home and seeing my mom pull out some construction paper and saying that she was going to try to wrap it that way. I doubted her. She wrapped it so creatively. It looked like a wooden block, and then she cut out the letters to spell Stacy. She put one letter on each side of the block. At the time, I had so many doubts, and I was embarrassed to bring that gift. But when I handed it over, I had to admit that it looked incredible, and everyone loved it. It stood out. That moment showed me that effort and creativity matter more than money or having the perfect supplies. Think about that for a moment. How often do we stop ourselves because we feel we don't have the resources, the knowledge, or the skills? My parents showed me that when something is important, you figure it out. You find a solution, and that lesson has stayed with me my whole life. Is there one area in your life right now? Maybe it's a small task. Maybe it's something that you walk by every day thinking that you'll get to it someday. Or maybe it's a project. Something that is sitting in a box that needs to be assembled. Or maybe a dream that feels too big, too complicated, or impossible. Imagine tackling it. Imagine yourself tackling it with the attitude, the patience, and the persistence that my parents modeled. Fast forward to my adulthood, when I started my own life coaching business. My parents' lessons have been the foundation for everything I've done in my whole life. When I was starting my business, I knew I wanted a logo, a website, a podcast, and my husband told me just to hire someone to do it. I kind of looked at him with a question like, really? Who do you think I am? And I dug in and I created the logo. I created a website. I figured it out. I didn't know what I was doing. And the website platform didn't do exactly what I needed. So I had to learn some computer coding. I didn't let it stop me. I researched, I experimented, I figured it out. When I started this podcast, I didn't know what I was doing. I asked questions, I tried things, and I kept going until it worked. And it still isn't perfect, but I just dig in and do it. My husband sometimes asks me, how do you figure it all out? My secret? I can't do it all, but I don't give up. I stay calm. I problem solve. Sometimes I call my mom and dad, but I persist. It might take longer. Sometimes it comes with frustration. Sometimes I use Google, but I keep going. Take a second. Think about that project you've been avoiding because it seems too complicated. What would happen if you spent just 1 hour trying to figure it out before giving up? Work ethic shows up in so many areas of my life. When a vacuum breaks, I call my dad. When I want a new tile backsplash in my kitchen, I'll admit it, I got a quote, but I couldn't see spending that kind of money on it. So I pulled it all down, the old backsplash, and then I called my dad. We pulled up our sleeves and we figured it out. When I wanted wainscoting by my back door, same thing. When graphing calculators would break in my classroom, my dad fixed the first few, but then he taught me how to repair them. You might be saying to yourself, I don't have a dad to call. You don't have to have a dad to call. Yes, I am so blessed to have parents that have taught me this. But my parents did it without anyone to call. They did it without computers. We have so many resources, and these aren't just lessons in fixing things. They're lessons in persistence, patience, self-reliance. Life is going to test us. It'll frustrate you, but when you step in calmly and focus, figure it out, you grow stronger, you gain confidence, you experience the satisfaction of solving problems with your own hands and with your mind. As much as I can't believe I'm saying this, I feel incredibly lucky that I wasn't raised in a wealthy family. I learned the value of hard work, resourcefulness, and persistence. Through college, through my teaching career, raising kids, and even when I retired and started my coaching business, those lessons became even more powerful. The frugal part of my brain hates to spend money on things that I can do. And the I can figure this out attitude will often take over. I've developed systems to create. I learn and I persist. Oftentimes when people hire someone else to do the work, I just dig in because that's how I was wired to do it. And I want to experience the journey, the growth, and the satisfaction of doing it myself. It's fun to figure things out. And the beauty of this is when you persist, when you figure things out, you look around and you realize not everyone is like this. In fact, a lot of people are not. You become the person that others trust to get things done because they know you won't quit. That's the power of work ethic combined with patience and persistence. There is a flip side of this coin. Working hard and figuring things out doesn't mean that you have to do everything yourself. Sometimes true wisdom and strong work ethic is knowing when to call in an expert. My parents could make do with almost anything, but even when they knew there were things you just couldn't patch together with some duct tape and creativity, they had to find a way or find someone else to do things. Just like when I needed private clarinet lessons. My mom couldn't do that. And so she found a way to get resourceful to clean a lady's house that would in turn give me private clarinet lessons. Today we live in a world where time is precious. If something takes us hours to learn but an expert could solve it in minutes, hiring help isn't always a weakness, it's a strategy. When we do this, it frees us up to focus on things that matter most, maybe your family, your career, personal growth. And that's one of the reasons I coach. Sure, you could spend years reading books, watching videos, or trying to piece things together, but sometimes it's faster and more effective to have someone walk with you, to see your blind spots, to guide you, to get you unstuck, and to hold you accountable. That's not cheating, that's working smarter. Take a moment to think about one thing that you've been avoiding because maybe it seems hard or expensive or frustrating. Can you commit to start figuring it out step by step? Pick a project. Maybe it's one task that you've been wanting to accomplish, that you've been putting off, or a challenge that you've been avoiding. Sit down, take a deep breath, maybe a glass of wine, and figure it out. Don't hire it out. Don't wait for someone else. Take ownership, step in, and persist. Maybe it's building something or starting a business, organizing a drawer, cleaning out a room, assembling something, improving your home, or solving a problem in your life. Approach it with patience, persistence, and the mindset that you can figure it out. You'll grow, you'll gain confidence, and you'll experience the satisfaction of creating solutions with your own hands. Remember, it's not about working long hours or burning out. It's about working smart, staying calm, and refusing to quit. That's what work ethic really is. Here's one last thing to hold in your mind. You don't need wealth or a college degree or special privileges to do great things. What you do need is persistence, patience, and the courage to figure it out. If you're ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start working with what you've got, I would love to walk alongside you. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. You just have to be willing to start, to try, to create, to learn, to shine in your own way. Visit www.projectu22.org. to schedule a call, or to learn more. Simply drop me a message. Let's uncover the grit, resourcefulness, and brilliance already inside you. If today's episode inspired you, please share it with someone who needs the reminder that they are stronger and more capable than they realize. And remember, you were built to work hard, to figure things out, and to shine. So don't hold back. Work hard, figure it out, and shine as you level up from the 1.0 version of yourself to the 2.0 version of yourself. And let me help you get to the 2.2 version of you.